Welcome to another video, guys. Murmur Shaman has been actually super strong in the current meta and is doing some obscene things if you know how to pull them off. Some of the synergies in this deck definitely did not show for me in my first few games, so I hope this guide is gonna help you figure the deck a lot faster than it took me. I'm still gonna show you some of my gameplay with it because I still managed to actually win quite a lot with it despite not knowing all of its intricacies. But after watching this guide, you should have a much better time understanding what you should be doing with this deck and its locations and all of the wonky synergies it could be pulling off. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, a like and subscribe would really be appreciated. But now, let's check out the deck.
Prepared.
Here's the variant I used, and it is indeed super strong. Like, the reason why it's called Murmur Shaman is because it's running this thing. You could also see it as Battlecry Shaman or some nonsense like that, but yeah, the main gist of it is this guy is gonna be pulling off a lot of stuff for you. We have a couple of lock-ons in this particular variant. You're not even running any starship pieces, so you're only running it so you can handle some big men like 8/8 giants, that kind of stuff, most cases. We have a couple of bird watching, so you can actually find your Murmur as soon as you can. A single copy of Malted Magma, a couple of Parrot Sanctuaries, and the tricky part about these Parrot Sanctuaries is technically you could be using these to maybe play something a little bit sooner, like play this on turn 2 so you can pull off a turn 3 Agatha or Lord Xavius, but the really good use for this thing would be to actually have this thing on the board a turn prior, let's say, or a few turns prior, and not use it. And after you actually use Murmur, which reduces all of your Battlecry minions down to 1 mana, then you use Parrot Sanctuary and play a 0 mana Battlecry minion. This thing opens again and you get to do it 2 more times. So this way, even as soon as turn 5, you could do some absolutely broken things with this guy. I'm gonna come down to all of the broken things in a minute. Let's talk about the other cards as well. Triangulate is in here so you can find some of the interesting cards when you need them. It's basically, consider it like a tracking for Shaman, you know? Like, you basically discover one of your spells when you need it the most. Let's say you could be begging for a Hex, you could be begging for a Lightning Storm, or you might just want to have extra Nebulas in your deck. That can also be pretty solid. So yeah, it's kind of cool like this. The Fairy Tale Forest is gonna help you actually draw those Battlecry minions a bit quicker, and again, if you actually have Murmur on the board and this thing ready, this is gonna draw you a 0 mana Battlecry minion this way, because it's gonna cost 1 less. The Hex, definitely amazing against all of those bullshit Armor Demon Hunters. You will be able to actually hex their starship pieces, their starships, all of that bullshit, so they won't be able to actually revive, reborn, all of that crap they could be pulling off. It's not gonna be happening for them if you time your hexes correctly, and if they're not careful with their starship idiots. Lightning Storm, obviously gonna do some good AoE damage for you, but it is also an overload card, same with Baking Soda. Both are very nice removals, but just don't forget you're gonna be overloaded for a turn, so that might be a kink in your plan. Turbulus, you really don't give a shit about getting the +1/+1 out of him. He's only in here so you have access to the other cards, so don't think that this is something you should be looking for in your mulligan. It's not something you should be looking for out of your bird watching. He's literally in here just so you can have access to the other hunter cards, like the locations and such, so do not get baited into thinking this guy is actually important to your game plan. He really isn't. The whole point of Murmur in the deck is you actually get the Battlecry effect, and the minion dies afterwards, so the +1 does literally nothing for you in most cases. Agatha is pretty nice because she can fish out the good spells out of your deck, like the Frosty Decor, like the Nebula, and the cool thing about Agatha is she basically turns these spells into Battlecry minions, and that's why the deck is so strong, is because you could pull off a Murmur with a 1 mana Nebula Battlecry minion, and that way you basically get 1 mana Nebula for free. Same can be said for the Frosty Decor, but that's a little bit on the lowball potential this deck could be giving you, so yeah, Frosty Decor is much better as a straight up thing you could be playing, but you're not gonna be super sad if Agatha pulls one of those like that. Xavius is basically another way for you to actually discover your Murmur nice and quick. Like, the whole point is to actually find the Murmur. If you don't find the Murmur, you would be kind of in danger, because the deck is really not doing all that much without the really bullshit potential this guy would be pulling off. So that's why this guy is pretty cool in here as well. Same with the bird watching, that kind of stuff. Curator, he can only draw you Ysera and Malorn, nothing else, but still it's super strong because getting yourself Ysera is super important on the Murmur turn, because basically you play Murmur, use location, use 0 mana Curator, use location, and you put 0 mana Ysera, and she is gonna give you 3 mana crystals. So that's gonna allow you to play a lot more Battlecry minions on that turn, including Malorn plus the 1 mana idiot that comes out of it as well. So that can be super strong that way. Definitely don't sleep on Curator as a way to actually tether out those important key minions for you. Bartender Bob is another thing. I actually completely slept on this synergy, by the way, and still won a lot more than I lost. What Bartender does in this deck is you basically play Murmur and you play 1 mana or 0 mana thanks to the location Bob, and use him to discover a free drop minion and refresh free mana for you. So this way you get to pull off 3 more Battlecry minions even if you don't have the location. So that's why Bob is super strong in here. And you could even use him up with the Shutter Block so you can actually refresh up to 9 mana that way, which could be crazy. Obviously in some cases you would rather use him just for the freeze if the game really goes that way, but you're not going to be stealing minions, you're not going to be usually drawing copies. Then again, that might also be a valid thing to be doing. Actually, it would be a valid thing to be doing given that you have such a curated number of minions in the deck. It would not be the worst idea to actually draw a couple if mana really is not something you care about too much. The Murmur, absolutely crazy. As you already noticed, he can pull off a lot of crazy synergies. The biggest crazy synergies you could be pulling off would be if you have the location already set up, you play Murmur, location gets used, you play a 0 mana Nebula out of the Hagatha. That way you get to discover a couple of 8 cost minions, give them Taunt and Elusive, and you could be getting that Space Rock that splits up into 4/4s, into 2/2s, and so on and so forth. You could get a Ragnaros, you could get some big taunts. It's really amazing. Just be careful because you can also get Octosari. So if you actually pull off some random crap like if you discover the Paladin Ursoc Wild God and decide to use him to cast Nebula 3 times, it kind of sounds good, but it can also screw you over completely if it gives you an Octosari or 2. That's gonna burn the rest of your deck basically, because Octosari has Death Rattle, draw 8 cards for you. Like I said, with the Murmur you can also be pulling off a lot of extra mana with the help of Essera, with the help of Bob. You could also use Shutter Block. You could use Marin to triple Shutter Block that way. And in this case, usually you would actually be looking for the get a random legendary and a copy in your hand kind of deal a few times. The card draw is not as amazing here, so be careful with that one. But yeah, I think you already get the picture. It's a pretty crazy deck. After you see it in action, you're gonna get a feel of all of these crazy interactions. Like, Murmur really is kind of broken, and usually you don't stick him for more than 1 turn, but on that 1 turn you do some absolutely crazy things. Like, you could even be on turn 6, play Shutter Block into Essera, and that's gonna give you 15 mana for the turn after, basically. It is kind of broken that way, so a lot of things could be happening. With the Shutter Block, you could also be using it on the Marin, you could be using it on the Malorn, that gives you some pretty crazy Wild Gods. The Nebula has some pretty awesome random stuff as well. And lastly, we have Essera, which does give you full mana crystals on the turn you play her, so if you play her on as 1 mana or 0 mana, you're gonna get 3 mana back straight up, or even 9 mana back if you did it with the Shutter Block. What you do with the deck in the early turns is you basically fish out for the Murmur, you basically plant locations on the board so you're ready for that turn, and you try not to fall behind too much. And usually around turn 5, turn 6, you literally just go crazy. You literally do amazing, obscene things, which a lot of opponents cannot really handle, and that's why this deck might actually be in danger of a nerf, because it's doing a little bit too much and a little bit too early. It's a super high value packed deck. You could go long, you could go fast. It's pretty flexible. Matchup wise, here's what the situation looks like. It's not going to be great against faster decks, but as you see, it's going to be farming Armor Demon Hunter. And I really do believe a lot of these matchups are very skill issue based. Like, if you know how to pull off a turn 5, turn 6 obscene amount of bullshit on the board, most of these matchups should also be looking pretty green. So don't get demotivated by how bad the initial stats look like. Like, even I had no idea what I was doing with the deck in the first few games, so I do believe it's going to take a little bit more time for people to actually figure out how to pull the most out of this one. For the mulligan, you're going to be looking for Murmur, for the locations, for the bird watching, Cactus, pretty good, Nightmare Xavius, that kind of stuff usually. And depending on the matchup, you might even consider looking for some removal. If you're against the Demon Hunter, you can keep Hex straight up, that kind of stuff. And on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff. Your core game plan would be these cards, like the top 6. And depending on the matchup, you could be looking for some of the removal. All around, that's it for the deck. Far from cheap. 10 freaking legendaries in there, and maybe in danger of a nerf. But if you have the cards, if you're into that shit, might want to give it a check. It's really quite the different deck right now. Very high high value, very high impact bullshit kind of potential. Hope you enjoyed the guide, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be appreciated. But now, let's check out some of my games from last season on my road back to top 1000. Hope you enjoy.
Go with the flow. Come and fight me!
Baking soda could be alright. The rest, not really. Okay, the Parrot Sanctuary is pretty decent. Could allow us to do some broken things a lot sooner than we're supposed to. Kinda weird having lock-on on a deck with no starship pieces, but still. I guess it is gonna potentially work against giants and such. Let me start discounting. I just put out a new top 5 meta report if you guys haven't noticed. Real good stuff over there. Okay, I'm not really looking for anything in particular right now, I'd say. Just keep on discounting. Lightning Storm might be worth it soon, but I don't know. Okay, that's mildly annoying for sure. I could hex the 0. I think I'm down with it. Next turn I might lock on the free 5 and baking soda. Sounds a good idea. Probably gonna eat a fair bit of damage here. Okay, lock on the Celiacs, I guess. Oof. Okay, now we're in danger. We be in the danger zone now. That is a lot of health this man possesses. I'm going with the baking, but we're gonna have to get lucky with the removal here. Decent-ish. Next turn I can put a couple of taunty boys. Hello, hello, Chosen. How you been? How you doing? Who the fuck runs this shit? This guy. That's an interesting new inclusion. Well, that's an interesting new heal. I'm down with it. I'll leave the last discount whenever I needed it. I could be flexible about it. Hitter HBGFBH. Nailed it. He's kind of low on the resources himself, so this frosty bullshit would be alright. Alright. Okay. 1 mana this bitch. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
Relaxation for all, and all thanks to me.
I don't care about Shutter Block right now. Out of these, more Frosty Decors, I think.
Has reached its limit.
Another lock-on might be important given this thing's gonna wake up soon. I think we got this. I think we got this in the bag. Let's try a couple of these shits. Oof. That is mildly annoying. He is gonna eat one of them, so it's not that big a deal. Let's strike me as a Nebula situation. Yeah, sure.
Keep it together. Keep it together.
Yeah, sure. That ought to do it. Oh, that ought to do it. Don't we got this? That's mildly annoying. Guess to cycle it nice and good. That was not very bright. No, that was stupid what he just did. What he did was the opposite of art. He could have cycled that. Oh, I guess he has the rush. Never mind then. Okay, he could not go face damage, so yeah, he did indeed misplay it. Okay, let's get a couple of these big men. He only has a coin in there, so he's pretty fucked. At the end of your turn, play the top three. I mean, not against it. A couple of them is gonna be a little bit too much, but suffering from success kind of deal. Couple of these, and he can go fuck himself. Honestly, I just want to see all of those cards getting played, you know? That could have gone worse. Yeah. Running laps around him right now.
It has been an honor.
Okay, figured it out. Yeah, that was a pretty pleasant first game. Double baking soda definitely was a little bit high rolly.
Mine is the only way. Come and fight me.
Fight me, bitch. Okay, against these guys, I don't think this removal is gonna help all that much. And I only did it once, that's odd. Well, can't say no to that. So we still run Malorn even though we don't have any imbue. That's pretty interesting. That is quite intriguing. Playing this guy on curve is definitely not that amazing given we don't have that many actual Battlecry minions we want to be tempoing out with, but still better than nothing. Shaman. Let me actually play this, so next turn maybe we do a little bit more than that. Yeah, I guess luck kind of sleeping on the Murmur potential this deck possesses. Oh, that's a bitch. Well, good thing I used it at least.
Go on, take a bite.
Well. Well, Agatha is definitely pretty neat. I can actually play her right now. I'll allow it. She's also nice and large and untargetable. Okay. I'm gonna try and find myself a Murmur that's gonna help my advances nicely. Murmur's an elemental, so it doesn't get drawn by that. I guess a little bit of card draw through that ain't never hurt nobody. I can just cast the 5-mana Fairy Tale right now. Not the worst. Alright.
So many
That's not that amazing for him.
Relaxation for all, and all thanks to me.
I'm gonna keep on kicking those deep in. Probably gonna have some consume bullshit. Sure, some of the 8/8s are gonna get dealt with. I have 1 mana lock on these nuts. Yeah, he's gonna have to make room for all of those 8/8s, but he will. So, I am what we call this in the business, in danger. Oh wait, he didn't have enough to actually clear him? Okay, I mean, to actually play those. Now he does. Does a lot. That was stupid what he did, by the way. He could have done 1 consume last turn, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to heal all of that now, didn't he? Okay, that helps, that helps. Let's freeze him out. Lock him out somewhat.
Eight combatants enter, and I take the crown.
Got myself Hexy. Okay, next turn with Murmur. Could I possess some damage with the Murmur? With the help of the Murmur, maybe if we get Malorn. He did heal a ton though, so what is this damage I'm looking for? Beast Dragon and Murloc. That's gonna draw me Malorn, I guess that's worth.
The menagerie is for guests only.
Druids of Azeroth, gods of the wild, the dream. My patience has reached its limit.
Maybe?
Rise, mammoth balance.
Should have gone with charge. Yeah, I think that's about it. Should have attacked. Okay, that was a nice little face area damage. Okay, not the worst situation to be in. A lot of things happen in that one. Can't steal this shit.
I could.
Yeah, you are not right, actually. You are not right. Wrong about that. I could have put it in my butt over there. My butt was in danger.
Almost out of time.
That's a lot of clearing. But it is not enough. Okay, has 6, 7, 9, so it is a full clear with baking. Three, 4, yeah, exact. Wow, it didn't give me the goddamn crown, huh? That's dumb. Maybe. 2 more turns left. Shitty part about this thing is he could. It is gonna play me a random free drop soon, but it is what it is. And there's that Octosar you guys were worrying about. Let's see how bad it is. I guess I could have cast Nebula myself. For some reason I thought I had to have it in my hand, but no, it's casting Nebula all of these times. Well, there's that burn. Hope Xerath doesn't get burned. It did get drawn, but did it get burned? It did get burned, fuck me. Of course it did. Okay, that's not bad. That is bad. Shutter block is borderline useless. We are burning another hex. I can shuffle more hexacles. It's not that bad. Ragnaros waiting room.
I'm running out of cards. I have no more cards.
So I didn't need to show him that. I'll just kill both of those so that he does not have Malted Magma situation. I mean, his location would not be able to refresh over and over.
My patience has reached its limit.
Okay. Really hope we don't get another random Octosari though. Please don't.
Keep it together.
Ragnaros me, dude. Okay, both of them are MVP. Didge. Well, he could snipe out the free, but that'd be pretty unlucky for me. No, it's not so unlucky. Now it is to be expected. Well, even if it kills the 8/8, we still summon. He doesn't even hero power though, that was weird. Let's see, can we get another chargy boy? Should I actually just clear him? Because I could.
I must contemplate.
Kind of botched it, didn't I? Could have played this a bit better, but I really don't want... No, I kind of don't care about that thing. Well, I guess I kind of care about that thing now. Dude's dead. Kind of want to see the Nebula though. I mean, he knew he was dead, right? He knew he gave us that 6 damage a while ago. It's his fault. Yeah, so far this deck's actually kind of pleasant, and I honestly can't wait to fuck around with some armor demon hunters if I could, because these hexes are gonna be pretty funny against them.
Versus Tamsin. No one matches my power.
Come and fight me!
Okay. Let's draw Beast and Dragon. We are gonna get some discounts against the Warlock. I think this should speed us up nicely. If I coin out Parrot right now, I will be able to do Hagata sooner. Not sure it's real worth it though. He's gonna destroy it. Good job. Or is he? I'd rather play this right now. can write the deck command and you can grab everything you need, bruh. Okay. Should I use that up? I mean, I'm not gonna be having anything to do with the mana. Nah, fuck it. Next turn I can go with Curator, fish out my stuff.
Go on, take a bite.
It's pretty strong right now, Patrick. In top legend, it's maybe the strongest deck. Real broken like.
What would my brother counsel?
I think I'd rather do this. That's not the dumbest thing in the world right now. I'm also kind of using the location weirdly now that I said it. I could be using it with the help of Murmur instead. Like that way, if I have a location and then play Murmur, I can actually start playing 0 mana battle cries and reusing the location instead. Something I remembered I used to know. I think I'm gonna go with the Nebula over here. Let me go ahead and fish out. There you are. Maybe I should have done that first. Guess we'll never know. Okay, next turn I can do a little bit more. Next turn I can play Murmur into this thing, drawing me a Sarah. She's gonna give me mana. That allows me to play Malorn, that kind of bullshit. This expanse is not ready yet. That's good. I'm also gonna be able to discover some good shit. Okay, let's frickin' go.
The menagerie is for guests only.
All are nourished when the cycle renews.
Could grab myself Shutter Block if I feel like it. Think I do.
Nightmares are never forgotten. My eyes of flame, my curses fade. Druids of Azeroth, gods of the wild, the dream beckons.
9 left. Fuck me, man.
My patience has reached its
Ursoc might help later. Ursol, not really. Perfect. I like that. I don't like that. Guess I did activate it in the end. Not sure I have enough left in me. Fudge. Fudginess. Ursoc is pretty neat here. So lock on these nuts, Ursoc. Yeah, perfect. What am I looking for? Could get myself a bunch of Nebula. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it. We have another triangulate for a potential Marin. If we need it. Okay. Thankfully I remembered using the location properly for one last time, basically. But yeah, that's pretty fun, not gonna lie.
Thorum versus Jaina.
Knowledge is power.
Come and fight me!
Against the Mage. Against the Mage, baking soda's probably gonna be worth. The rest probably not so hot. Hey, thank you very much, Bernisha. How you been? How you doing? We're not in a hurry, I think. The coin could be a bit more valuable to us than that. So yeah, basically with a location for discount, as soon as you get Murmur on, then you use the location and bring those 1 manas down to 0. And that way you get to play free 0 mana battle cries, which is super huge. So the curator became a bit useless. just get this thing out. Would be lovely if we get Murmur out of it. There you go. Battlecry triggers twice is definitely tempting, but I think it's always Murmur in it. Murmur forever. On turn 6 I can Murmur coin a Sarah and then start blasting. That's gonna draw me out Malor. It's still worth if we still haven't gotten him. Wouldn't mind getting Hagatha sooner rather than later. Even though right now I don't really have the room to play her. 2-mana location would be real MVP though. Only 3 secrets in standard, that's kind of halele. Okay, do I care to waste triangulate? Kinda do, because I kinda want to use the coin next turn. Cool. Okay, so that's another counter spell in it. It's not necessarily a counter spell, actually. Mildly annoying. Let's go ahead and do this.
The menagerie is for guests only.
Okay, well, I think I can just pass here. No need to do anything, and next turn I don't even need the coin as much, so it's fine. But it's a really cool deck, not gonna lie. It's pretty flexible. You can win in so many different ways. You can be super greedy, super value oriented, or super tempo oriented. It is enjoyable is what I'm trying to say.
Runs out on me.
Okay. That's interesting. Sure.
Druids of Azeroth, gods of the wild, the dream.
Okay. Go ahead and do this. For real.
Relaxation for all and all things. My patience has reached its limit.
At this point, I just go for the crown, I think. Okay. Real value fest. Was deck tracker not counting? Oh, it does count the discount. It's down to 10. Miss me with that shit. Yeah. This thing's gonna get reborn back to full health, by the way. Fuck that guy in particular, I guess. Took him a while. He done did it. Not sure he realizes it's gonna return back to full. Okay. Maybe he did. Deck is fun. Deck is fun. What else are we gonna play today, though? What else will we take a whack at? What else are we gonna take a whack attack with?